Thursday night, gang. Thursday, the 15th of July 2021. A very good evening to you, and welcome to tonight's little chat show. It's United Kingdom Talk, coming to you from Lincolnshire and the Chapel Hill Marina. I was just watching that opening sequence there. The combine harvester chopping up all the bits of wheat, you know, at the end of the opening sequence that I use sometimes up here. And I wonder if we've had any bread. Who's had a little bit of bread as made by that chopped up wheat? Maybe I just had some now. I just set the smoke alarm off in here. Oh, it's very loud in the caravan, dear. I bought these brochet rolls. You know, the really buttery ones. I bought these from the garage yesterday, actually. When I was coming back from the swimming pool, I wanted a few rolls. So I thought, well, I don't want to go to Asda or Aldi just for a packet of rolls. So I stopped at the petrol station, which is an apple green. I don't know if you've got those where you are. They've got a lot of them up north. I've only ever seen one down sort of near where I live. And I popped in there, and I said, "Do you sell bread?" He said, "Yeah, over there." And they had loaves of bread. I didn't want loaves of bread. And all they had was brioche, I don't know how you say them, rolls. Right, I'm not being funny. £2.29 for 6 bleeding rolls? Are you for real? I mean, I did buy them, yeah, and of course I had the option to put them back and not buy them. I thought, oh, sod it, I'll buy them. £2.29 for 6 rolls? Are you having a laugh? I was at Lidl a couple of days before, 4 for £1. 6 rolls for £2.29, I ask you. Blimey, I've heard of inflation. And so I've had those out there, and I thought I'll just have a little roll with butter and marmalade on before we start tonight's worldwide famous television programme, which you are watching now in full colour, for those of you with colour sets. And I put the rolls in, and then I came in here and started doing things, you know, to get ready, playing the music and whatever. And I heard the toaster go. And I went out there. Well, there was a black as the ace of spades, dear. Black as the ace of spades they were, these things. I'm not one to scrape off. I can't be doing scrape them. So I went outside and I chucked them on the roof of the caravan, thinking that birds, in particular pigeons, I get a lot of pigeons. There's a couple of pigeons here I always see. Pigeons will spot them on my roof and peck them. And they will be pecked. So they're not wasted. We can't be wasting food. Okay? So then I thought, sod it, I'll put another couple in, and this time I'll pay full attention, right? And I've come in here, and I've heard it click up again. I thought, oh, I wasn't paying attention. And I went out there, once again, black as the ace of spades, and at that point, beep, beep, beep. No, it was a much higher pitched sound. Beep, 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 beep. I can't do high-pitched sounds. I have to get great-nephew Harry to do that. He's good at screaming at the moment, till the voice goes. And it, beep, 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 beep. Oh, here we go. And I couldn't find a silence button. Oh, it's probably because it's not a kitchen one. That's why, isn't it? It's the hall one that went off. The hall one went off. Beep, beep. There's no silent button, so I had to take it off and take the battery out. And I waited a while, opened all the doors, and put the battery in. And I think that's all well and good now. Fingers crossed. So that was 2 burnt ones. Went back at the front, tore it up, threw it on the roof. And I'd done another one, and we were successful with the 3rd one. We were successful. So how much have I chucked away? Go on, there's something to you work out tonight. The thickos amongst us tonight, eh? 6 rolls, £2.29. How much is that each? Quickly, who's going to be first with that? Quickly, 07451 287 337 if you want to contact me on the show tonight, or you can use the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Okay, if you're in the chat box and you're trying to send me a message, I'm not in the chat box. Okay, I don't see any of the messages either before, during, or after the show in the chat box. That's just for you to talk to each other. Many more people watch this show who are not in the chat box. You can contact me though through a text number. It's a local, just a normal text number. It's not premium rate, okay? 07451 287 337 for the text number. Or the email. If you're in the States, you're better off to send an email, because all the texts don't get here for some reason, okay? The email is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, just at the bottom of your TV screen there. So I had my little marmalade thing, and then I put the smoke alarm back. I've actually got the front door open tonight. And the reason I've got the front door open is because my delightful neighbours, Jeff and Linda, have gone back home again. They've only been here for a couple of days. And I'm very disappointed. I know he won't mind me. I'm sure he won't mind me telling you this, but they're going to sell up. And the reason is Linda can't cope with the heat in the caravan. I've said to you before, you know, caravans are extremely hot in the summer. On a really hot summer's day, when you want to get out of the heat, you are actually better to be outside the caravan than you are in. It's not like a house. Absolutely not like a house at all. You know, I know we've got a very hot weekend coming up, I believe. When you're if you're outside and you go indoors, it is always slightly cooler. Completely the opposite in a caravan. It's so hot. And lovely Linda can't cope with the heat. And she tried a fan, and I know where she's coming from, because before I had the cold air stuff put in, and you know, it's not cheap to do that. You know, it's a couple of grand to have something like that done. But before I had the cold air put in, I did have a couple of high-powered fans. But if it's really hot in the caravan and you put the fan on, well, it's like having a blooming hairdryer firing at you. Warm air, and it's the most unpleasant thing. Even worse than that is if you're trying to sleep in it. Awful. So really disappointed, but it looks like they're going to be selling the caravan next to me, and I will miss them. I haven't known Jeff and Linda for very long, but I consider them very good friends. I really do consider them good friends in the very short time I've known them, and I hope we keep in contact on that. But I think he's going to sell it. I'm talking to him yesterday afternoon, actually, just before they left. And I said, have you decided what you're going to do? Because his missus had already mentioned it the other day. And he said, yeah, I think we're going to sell. We just can't cope with the heat in here. So it's not for everyone, you see. That's the only thing. And it's quite an old caravan, similar. Actually, it's probably a little bit older than this one, and this one's old, you know. And when you start doing things to it, and it's costing money, and it's not really that new, you have to question, do you really want to, how long are you going to have this? You know, I have a reason to have this, to be closer to my sister and all her family, you see. Where if it's just a holiday home and you're not really using it, or it's uncomfortable, what's the point? What's the point? So I did say to him, please don't put anyone young in. Make sure they're old and they go to bed really early. Don't make lots of noise. Anyway, one of those things. The show, it's been quite a nice day. I went swimming this morning again, down at the Boston Leisure Centre. Not too busy at all in there, and I'm very pleased to report. This morning, got there about 10:30, bang on 10:30, and I managed to achieve my 60 lengths. So it's taken me about 8 swims to get back up to that 60, what I was doing last year, and I'm well pleased with myself. I'm not even tired when I get out the pool. Seriously. Not even tired. The only thing is, at the moment, the showers aren't on there. And you do feel a bit rank coming out of a swimming pool before you and not having a shower. Do you know what I mean? So I have to come back here and have the shower. I don't quite get it, to be honest. If you're in the swimming pool, right, and yet the showers aren't on, I think maybe it's something to do with the steam. I don't know. If the steam rises, then maybe virus can come up with it. But I think things will change next Monday, as they call it Freedom Day. So something might happen then. So I came back in my car back here and had my lunch, and it was all well and nice. And it could have been better had I had another double ice cream standing by here, which I had yesterday night in Skegness. Seriously, I don't normally have a double one. You know, when you get a cone and there's like 2 holes instead of 1. 2 holes are not necessarily better than 1. It's true. 2 holes are not necessarily better than 1. And they got 2 holes in these cones. And I had a double ice cream with hundreds and thousands and toffee sauce. And it was such nice weather last night. Went in the fun bus with Gary and his family. Sharon and Martin and Evie, actually. They were in the open-topped car. I think it's a Ford of some sort. I can't remember what car it is now. And got there, had a bit of a walk around, had trawler's catch chips, and they were very slow last night with serving. Oh, it took forever to get served in. I know it was busy. They don't seem to have enough staff on at the moment. And every time we've been there, it's been really quick service. On the other hand, we didn't used to go at the time we're going now. So we're getting there now sort of 6 o'clock, and then by 6:30 we're in the queue waiting to be served. And we must have stood there for 15, 20 minutes easily. This queue just didn't move along. You know, once you get there and you get served, everything's fine, and you know they're intent on sorting you out, no problem at all with that. It's just the queue was so slow yet last night. Don't know why that was, and it was the same last time as well. And the only thing I can think of is that it's summer. There's more people around. You know, it's 6 o'clock at night instead of we used to get there sometimes at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. See, there'll be no one in there. Straight to the front, order our stuff, sit down, and there it was. Lovely. So we had that. Then we had a bit of a sit down. Then I wanted to use a toilet, and public toilets were closed, so I had to walk back to the trawler's gate. Then we walked along the beach for a bit, and it had an ice cream, a double ice cream with hundreds of thousands, and toffee sauce. That's what I had. In actual fact, the weather last night was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Not a hint of chill in the air at all, and not too hot. This would have been about 8 o'clock at night. And of course, we've got the ice cream, and I'm walking back, and the thing's starting to drip already, isn't it, down there? Yeah, walked along there. My nephew's wife's sister, who's one of Olivia's carers, she got attacked by a dog. She didn't really get attacked. And we were stroking this dog, and we were warned that it does jump up. Would it jump up and bit her? Perhaps it was hungry. Feed the bloody dog then, dear. Feed the dog. Feed the world. Sorry, wrong tune. Feed the world. Let they know it's Skegness time. Feed the world. Yeah, Paul McCartney came out and all that lot. Michael Jackson was there singing away. George Michael. All the dead people appeared as ghosts and started singing. Feed the world. Let them know it's Skegness time. While standing outside the trawler's catch and then following us to the ice cream, hoping we're going to buy our ice creams. But I don't buy ghosts' ice creams because they're wasted. Terrible. And then got back to the car, at which point my sister thought her car had been nicked because we couldn't see it. It's the weirdest thing. We thought we could see where the car had parked, right, which was kind of in front of and to the side of my nephew's fun bus. We could not see this car. And she said, "Where's my car?" And everyone's saying, "Oh my God, it has gone." And I got there and I thought they must be blind. No, couldn't see the car for love of money until we got quite close. And it was kind of, I don't know why we couldn't see it. It's not like it was hidden or anything like that. And then on the way home, and a lovely night. Harry was reading to me in the car. He read me Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He was reading that without much problem at all. His reading is really good now, and he's quite happy to sit there, and he speaks quietly. You can't really hear him, but I try and pay full attention, and now and again, very rarely, I hear him stop, and I'll look down and see what the word is, and then you kind of mouth it out, don't you? I mean, for example, I was going to say chocolate, but he knows that word. No problem at all with that word. Chocolate. You know, but if he said, okay, spell it a bit, chocolat, and then he'll say it, and then he usually remember that next time. Fantastic. And that's the thing, you see, so that double ice cream, the only thing that could have made today a little bit better, as I got back from the swimming pool and had my dinner, would be to have one of those double ice creams with hundreds and thousands and toffee sauce on it. Very, very tasty indeed. Thank you very much. So that was my day. Right, okay, let's read some of your messages. Don't forget, gang, I'm not in the chat box. If you'd like to join into the show, I've sent an email, please, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or you can text in 07451 287 337, and I'll come to your text at some point. All right, my darlings? I just noticed on the emails, actually, do you know it was 5 years, get this, 5 years today, 5 years today since the EU election referendum. 5 years has passed since we done that. Can you believe that? 5 years ago that happened. Wow. I don't know where the time goes. I really don't. Let's start then. Glenda. Hello, Glenda. Good evening, Glenda. She's with us live tonight. Glenda is in the US of A. Have you seen? Look, all got your stuff up here, Glenda. All your stuff's here, darling. Eh? Now and again, I change things around. You know that, but you know that anyway. The only thing is I haven't got any more batteries. Literally, I was hunting around for a couple of batteries. The lights have gone out. The lights are on, but there's no one in. I know a few people like that. Do you? Oh, God blimey, what a bunch of thickos we all know, don't we? Dear me. Glenda says, "Hi, Chris. Happy to be watching another episode of United Kingdom Talk. I just love you." You're the only one that does, Glenda. You're the only one that sends your love to me, darling. Oh, well. You brighten my day. Hope you're doing well and had a great day. Thank you very much, Glenda. Yes, not bad at all. As just explained to you, my darling. All right, not bad. Not a bad day at all today. Okay. Over on the text then. Oh, gosh, there's a lot, isn't there? Hello to Diane Jebb. Good evening, Diane. Evening, Diane. Hello to Mark Bowles. He says, "Hi, lollipop." Oh, have you got I'd love to lick your lollipop. I really would, Mark. Good evening to you, my darling. What flavour is it, incidentally? What flavour is your lollipop? Do you know what my brother-in-law said to me last night, Mark? He said, "I'd love to see some of those messages Mark sends you." I'm like, nope, I don't think so. I don't think so. That is a private thing. It's a private thing. It's our little secret. Someone older said that to me somewhere. I can't remember what it was. It's our little secret, isn't it, Mark? Our little secret. Evening to Gary Ross. Evening, Gary, who says, "I have an extra loaf. I'll send it over to you. Saves me freezing it." I don't usually buy loaves of bread, actually. Andy, apparently those rolls worked out at 39 pence each. Blimey. That's dear, isn't it, for a roll? 30, if they're about £2, if they're £2.29 for 6. Andy informs us that works out to about 39 pence per roll. Blimey, perhaps I should only have had half. Brochet rolls. Funny thing is, I'm coming back today from the swimming pool and I popped in the co-op and I got 6 rolls for £1 in there. 6 rolls for £2.29. Well, like I say, you know, the choice is, do you want to buy them or don't you? You know. Evening to Rachel Wheatland. Good evening, Rachel. There's our Richard Morris. Good evening to you, Richard. Richard says, "Good evening, Lord Reardon." Oh, I like that, Lord. Do you think I'll ever be a Lord, Richard? You know, perhaps I could sit in the House of Lords when I'm tired, because they all just go to sleep in there, don't know. Have you seen her? They do. That's all they do in the House of Lords. Richard said, "How much is the caravan next door? You never know. I could be your new next door neighbour. Not sure if that's a good thing." I have no idea, Richard. No idea. No idea what it was. No idea what it was. John says, "Sherry wants us to buy that van next to you. Put my name down, dear." Nothing to do with me, John. What is it to do with me? I don't want you next door. Oh, can you just imagine the hassle. Knocking on the door every 5 minutes. "Oh, can we come in for tea?" "No, you can't. Go away." He'd be the first one on the phone to Sylvie, who is queen of all caravans. Sylvie, who owns a site, her and her son, Guy, who is queen of all caravans. "Ow, we're trying to get to sleep and there's a bloke next to the caravan to us making a lot of noise. I don't want you there, mate. I'll burn the place down rather than have you there. Goodbye." Good evening to Sherry. You'll be all right on your own, darling. Is he thinking of buying this just for you? That would be okay if you was there, Sherry. I couldn't bear to have him next door to me. Oh, what a pain in the arse he'd be. I just know it. I just know it. He'd come in with stupid little jokes all the time, wouldn't he? You know. Anyway, Sherry says, "Good evening, Chris. Your solid and loyal viewers. They are solid. Solid as a rock. Da 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 da. Ashford and Simpson. Great song. All looking forward to watching your show all day. You have the ability to brighten our day. Stay happy and keep up the good work." Are you finding that John doesn't really brighten up your day? Oh, by the way, John, how's your new Chesterfield settees? How are they? I don't suppose you want to send us a picture of those at some point? Are they comfortable? I always quite like Chesterfield settees. My sister used to have one, but she got rid of them. She said they weren't comfortable or they'd fallen apart or something. I failed to see how presumably you could fix something like that. An expensive settee like a Chesterfield. There's got to be people out there that repair those sort of things, isn't there? Are you comfortable in your new Chesterfield settees there, Sherry? I do hope so, my darling. Good evening to Vera. Hello, Vera. Evening to you. How's Gary the cat? Don't worry, he's all right. I spot him on my one of my security cameras. I can log in at any time. Would you like to see my garden at home? Yeah, Rachel loves a bit of technology, don't you, Rachel? She loves it. Let's have a look at the front path and see what's going on at my house. Hang on a minute. 1 moment, please. I love this. If I can just find the damn thing. Here we go. Now, what would you like? Front door, front path, home garden? Let's have a look at the front path outside my house at the moment, shall we? Right. Watch this, watch this. Tap to go live. Look. Tap to go live. There you go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes. There you are. That's my front path live at my house. Isn't that good? Isn't that good? Look at the hanging baskets there. You're impressed with those, aren't you? Vera bought me bits for those. So that's the front. And now we can look at the back garden. Yes. I'm now going to show you, Mark, my back entrance, darling. All right, my love? Here we go. Pardon? Oh, please. Don't be rude. Please. Other people are being rude now. Okay, here we go. And, there we go. Already. There we are. There's the back garden. As you can see, the grass now needs to be cut because it's not been cut for a week. That's my back garden at home. Coming to you live from Bracknell. Huh? We've got the technology here, mate. Huh? I can log into all the cameras all over the world and keep an eye on you. No, don't be sneaking people into your house. I know about it. Yes, Gary the cat, he keeps turning up at my front door. He waits there for about 3 hours and then goes home again. And he walks home slowly as if he's disappointed. You know how you sort of... and you walk along like that. That's how he walks back. He comes to the house inquisitively, waits there for 8 hours, and then goes home with his towel down like that. He's disappointed. He gets very excited when he sees me tomorrow. Probably when I come home from work tomorrow night, he will run in. He runs when he sees me. He's such a gorgeous creature. I want him to run at me and then sort of jump up like a dog does, but they don't do that really, cats, do they? Evening to Fran Green. Good evening, Fran. Hello to you. Evening, Chris. Hope you're well. I am well, Frankie Fran. Good evening to Maureen in London. Evening, Maureen. Hope you're well there, darling. I was going to say, Maureen, can you... I think you can see the old shows now on YouTube. Those of you that listen to my radio show in the morning, it is on YouTube now as well. And that seems to work quite well for certain people who can't watch it. But with the addition of a chat box, and people are talking to each other in it as well. So, you know, feel free to watch that. You'll see a link somewhere on this screen. If you minimise the screen, I think it's a featured channel. You should see the Chris Reardon radio show. Just click on there and that'll take you to where the radio show is in the morning. Starts at 9 o'clock. Sometimes it's on and there's a period of silence before 9, or you get all sorts of strange noises and things happening because that's me getting ready. It's the sort of direct feed, if you see what I mean. So it's either that or start it bang on 9, and then that doesn't give you a chance to sort of find it. So that's why I start it, or whenever I come in here, really. That's it. Evening to Jason Hughes. Mark says, did Martin really ask about your messages? Yes, he did, my dear. Yes, he did. He did ask, yes. Yes. It's all right. It's all right, Mark. You send me anything you want. It won't go any further. You know, in years to come, I will not sell your messages or any pictures that you may or may not have sent. None of these will be appearing on the front page of the Daily Mirror. There'll be nothing like that at all, Mark. It's our secret. Our secret. A secret love. La la la. Oh, we haven't had Mark's picture up today. Sorry to disappoint you all. This is usually my highlight of the night. Just having a look at that for 5 minutes. There he is. Mark, can I have that mask, please? That one that you've had over your lips. Can I have that? Could you send that to me, please? Thank you very much. If you could breathe on it a little bit first, and then I can wear it as I'm walking around and breathe in your fumes. How lovely. I think that would be very nice. Evening to Danny Davis. Evening to you, Danny. Shall I buy your carrot? Who says I'm all out of sync? I doubt that very much, Danny. I doubt that very much. If I'm out of sync, it's likely to be your device because you're the only one moaning about it. If you want to see something that's out of sync, put GB News on. It's been out of sync for 3 days. Badly. On Freeview. I don't know what it's like on Free Sat. And he says, shall I buy the caravan? No, because you're another annoying one. You'll be knocking on the door every 5 minutes. Oh, just came over for a chat. Well, what do you want to chat about? Well, just anything, really. Just a bit lonely. Go and be lonely on your own. Don't bother me. I'm busy here. Busy. Busy, very busy person. Busy, busy, busy. You know, you can probably afford it now, can't you? Now that you're being paid to do little radio shows, you know. That was This Is You're Listening To, The Time Is, that one. your radio show. 4 links per show. I mean, how boring must that be for you? Christ. Anyway, please don't buy the caravan. Besides, you don't know which one it is. You don't know where my caravan is. You don't know which one it is, mate. There you are. Rachel's there. Hello, Rachel. I can do that. She's got the Ring doorbell camera as well. There's a camera on each corner of the house and a couple inside the house. So we keep an eye on the house while we're out. Very sensible indeed, my darling. Can you set off an alarm on yours? Mine's got the... All I have to do is press the button. Wee, 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 wee. Goes like that. Actually, it was someone's alarm going off earlier today while I was in bed. It kind of... I'm not sleeping too well in the afternoons at the moment. I don't know why that is, because it's nice and cool in the bedroom. Here, listen. What about that great big goldfish? Did you see it on the front page of the show today on the little YouTube thumbnail? This blooming great big thing. Look at the size of this. Jeez. I bet George Bond would love to catch one of those, wouldn't you, George? Where is George? He's a bit quiet recently, isn't he? How about that? Giant goldfish. And it is really that size. How has it got to that size? Now, we've seen this sort of story, actually, before, with things like terrapins. I seem to remember many, many years ago, possibly in the 80s, there was various stories in the newspaper and on television news about large, full-size terrapins that were being found in ponds and places like that. Now, you've seen these little terrapins. They're so big, you know. You keep them in a tank or something like that. But, of course, they grow. And what people do is they literally dump them in a pond, or they used to. I mean, I must say I've never found one myself. Well, this is a similar story. This is in the USA. A city in the USA, it says, in the metro, has urged its residents to stop dumping their pet goldfish in local lakes, because that's what happens. They become fat bastards. I mean, it looked a bit like me, to be honest, actually. Does that look like me? I'm almost that fat. In fact, I would say I am. I'm so, if the head of that fish was up, you know, at the top, my body would kind of be like that, and it gets thin at the bottom again. Well, I've got cute ass. I think so anyway. My mate says I haven't. He says it's just like a wall, my ass now. It disappears as you get older. Disappointing, really. How's your bum tonight? Has it still got the shape, or is... No, it hasn't, is it? Oh, dear. Me too. You know, you're not the only one. Please don't be worried. Don't be depressed and upset about it. Oh, God. I might have to do a Katie Price, actually, or do something like a bit liposuction going on. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, people are dumping their pet goldfish. According to this city in Minnesota. Oh, Minnesota. Millie from Minnesota lives there, my friend. These giant fish will uproot plants and disturb the sediment at the bottom of the lake. Alongside 3 pictures of football-sized goldfish, the city's official Twitter account urged pet owners not to dump their fish in public ponds. It says they grow bigger than you think and contribute to poor water quality by mucking up the bottom sediments and uprooting plants, reads the tweet. Other Twitter users responded with pictures of equally large goldfish that they'd also found in this Keller Lake. And there's a picture, you can't see it. There's a picture of someone who's obviously got this fish out of the water, put it on the ground, and he's taken off his trainer and put it next to it. Well, the fish is bigger than the blooming trainer. It seems that adding fish to public lakes on the sly is something of a common occurrence in Minnesota. Back in January, they put out a warning of people, please don't do it. A few goldfish might seem to some like a harmless addition to the local water body, but they're not. It says goldfish can work their way through city stormwater ponds, into lakes and streams, downstreams, big impacts by rapidly reproducing, surviving harsh winters and feeding in and stirring up the bottom like their close relatives, the common carp. I always thought it was the same thing, goldfish and carp, didn't you? Apparently not, according to this story. Several years ago, someone plopped goldfish into a pond at Egan's Central Park, and the population spun out of control, muddying the pond's waters and harming native plants. So there we are. Naughty people dumping their unwanted pets. Do anyone remember the terrapin stories? Yeah, they were like a popular pet at some point. I don't know anyone now who's got a terrapin. I seem to remember other kids at school with terrapins. We didn't have any ourselves. We had a couple of dogs. We were quite unsuccessful when we had when I was a child. We had our house in a masonette in Roehampton, and we got through 2 dogs there, and with no success really. The first one was a puppy called Sally, little black thing it was, and I think it was what are they called now? Like a golden retriever, one of those. I think she was a bit like that. And jet black she was. She was only young, and she started foaming at the mouth and started growling at everyone. And we took her to the vet, and she had, I think, distemper. So we lost her. So a little while later, we got another dog called Benji. Benji the dog. This was a full-grown dog. It was a rescue dog, I think, from Battersea Dog Home. But I can't remember what happened to him. He was a bit uncontrollable, really. He was friendly enough. And I always remember taking him for a walk, and I had this lead on. I was 16, 17 maybe. Anyway, I'm pulling him along, and he's pulling to go across this busy road called Roehampton Lane. And all of a sudden, this blooming lead snapped. And oh, God, the dog went running across this road. Oh, God, what do? And stupidly, I ran after him. And all these cars, beep, beep, all these cars. I was lucky. And he got across the road. I can't remember what happened after that. Don't remember. So we weren't very successful with dogs. And then Mum got a cat called Penny. And, yeah, we had Penny for some time. She was a nice cat. Penny the cat. Danny says, you can always put my radio show on for your viewers. No, thank you. You don't mention my show on yours, do you? Yet you want me to mention yours on mine all the time. I don't get it, Danny, darling. Why, oh, why would I put your show on my radio? Why would I do that? Please answer me that question, dear. Hello to Jeff. There he is. There's Jeff there. We were just talking about you, Jeff, earlier. Hi, Chris. I hope you're well. Had a good swimming session this morning. Yeah, lovely, thanks. Actually, the pool wasn't too busy this morning. I had a whole lane to myself. It's a big pool, so even when it's busy, you've got enough time to sort of move out of people's ways. You know, what tends to happen is someone coming that way, then you kind of move slightly to the side, and it works very well in there. But I had a whole lane to myself today. It wasn't really that busy at all, strangely enough. Vera says, I've always been told that I don't have a black arse. No, actually, that's right, Vera. Yours is quite small, isn't it? As a black lady, I would imagine you to have had a larger arse, but you haven't. Why is that, Vera? Are you eating the wrong things, dear? Oh, you lovely girl. Anyway, that's the story there of the goldfish. You remember we mentioned Dallas the other day? There's the Dallas house, Southfork. Where is it? There it is. That's Dallas house, Southfork Ranch. Do you know you can actually go and visit there? We were talking about it the other day. I don't think we were talking about visiting it. But I looked it up. And I discovered you can actually visit Southfork. And it's not even expensive. Of course, you've got to go to Dallas. That was the house as featured in every single episode of Dallas, the excellent television series from the 80s, which I love. And I looked it up. And it's called southforkranch.com. If you want to have a look yourself. Southfork, F-O-R-K, Southfork Ranch, all one word, .com. And it says for 13 years, it was on 13 years on the telly, television sets were tuned into 356 episodes of Dallas, one of the longest running TV series in history. They obviously haven't met Coronation Street, have they? And actually, 13 maybe in American standards, because the trouble is what happens in America is the moment they start losing viewers, that's it, it's gone. They cancel it. That's why Star Trek finished. The original series of Star Trek did not do well in America. Really didn't, and that's why it didn't last very long. They say 13 years, Dallas, one of the longest running TV series in history. You must be bleeding joking, ain't you? Christ. You see how long Coronation Street's been going? And EastEnders. EastEnders, what's that now? 83, 93, 03, 45. That's got to be 30 years old, EastEnders. I remember the first episode. You know, or look at the radio. The Archers. How old is The Archers now? Stuff's a lot longer than 13 years, but maybe they're just talking about America. It says viewers made themselves home at Southfork, the ranch of the Ewings, called home and where the world was a weekly guest. We used to love it. I was actually introduced to Dallas by my girlfriend at the time, who then became my wife and then my ex-wife. And I loved it from the moment I started watching it. Absolutely loved Dallas. Was gutted when it finished. And then it came back, didn't it? About 5 or 6 years ago now. It came back and I thought, yes. And it was good. I thought it was really good, and I got my mate into it as well. And we used to love it. Look forward every week to this new episode of Dallas. And the ratings went down and down and down. And so they cancelled that. I don't suppose that we'll ever see that come back again now. You know, once it's done, isn't it? We were lucky to get it back a second time. But anyway, you can go and visit Southfork. That featured in the sort of reboot of Dallas, as well as the old one. It says, today Southfork continues to welcome visitors from around the world who come to see where Dallas was filmed and to experience the lifestyle made famous by the Ewings. Ba-ba, ba-ba. But we must use that as a bed tomorrow. Let me just write that down. I think we've already used that one this week, haven't we? Dallas bed, thank you. I shall use that tomorrow morning to talk over. It says, whether you're an individual traveller or part of a group tour, Southfork is open daily, year-round, for guided tours of the ranch, the famous Ewing Mansion, and relive exciting moments in the series The Dallas Legends exhibit, featuring an exciting array of memorabilia of the series. And it's just wonderful. See the gun that shot JR, Lucy's wedding dress, the Dallas family tree, Jock's Lincoln Continental. Relax on a guided tour of the ranch grounds, eat at Miss Ellie's Deli, and shop in 2 themed retail stores offering a... Look how excited I am. Look. Mark, would you take me here, please? Could we go there? She'll be all right on her own for a week or two, for Christ's sake. What's wrong with you? Blimey. Offering a diverse selection of clothing, accessories, gifts and collectibles. Tour tickets are sold inside the Southfork Ranch gift shop as well as online. It's not necessary to pre-purchase a tour ticket. They are available online if you choose. So how much is this? Go on, you're thinking 50, 60 quid, aren't you? No! It's surprisingly cheap. Surprisingly cheap. It says it's open 10 till 4 o'clock every day, Christmas Eve until 3, presumably closed Christmas Day. Daily tours start at 10:15 and run every hour. The last guided tour of the day begins at 3:15. Please be present in the gift shop 15 minutes prior to your tour time. And the price, admission rates, general admission, adults, $16. Happy days. $16, so 12 or 13 quid. That's all right, isn't it? 12 or 13 quid. That's all it is. Amazing. That's for the tour, your walk around tour. And that, to be honest, that's all I'd want to do. Something like that. Of course, you can have, they do other things. They do corporate events. You can get married there. Here, Mark. Married. Better start getting your son his little page boy outfit. He can give me away if he wants. No, that has to be a member of my family, doesn't it? Oh yes, I can be given away by oh no, I can you know, I can see it now. I can see it now. Great nieces and nephews would be fighting to give me away. That's all right. I'll have all 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll be 7 by then probably. Because Jimmy Butler and his girlfriend, they're having one. Apparently he's bricking it. He doesn't know what is about to hit him. No more sleeping. Anyway, as I say, that's it. They do packages as well of different things that you can do. Live and dream like a Ewing. It says spend the night. This is for 6 people, up to 6 people. Spend the night. I mean, I'd love to do this. Spend the night in the world's most famous mansion. Perfect for romantic getaways, Mark. Here we go. Anniversaries, proposals. Hello, proposals. Weddings. Well, we could do the whole thing. It could be a romantic getaway, ending up with a proposal, and then a wedding, all in the same week. How marvellous. And other special events. $1,978 for 2 guests. It's only for one night. Blimey, it's a bit dear, isn't it? But I mean, is that dear to stay in an iconic place like that? That to me, to stay there would be like to me staying in Buckingham Palace, or for our American viewers, Buckingham Palace. Oh, I'd love it. And you for £1,978 for one night, you get access to the entire house and pool. Yeah. I'll be able to put my little Speedos on and just trowel myself over Mark's chest as I lay there by the pool. There's a trowel ride. I don't know what that is. Is that a horse thing? Private tour of the mansion and ranch. Champagne and hors d'oeuvres. I don't know what that is. Hors d'oeuvres. I don't want to see any whores in there, dear. It's not my... Oh, not really, not for me. Not for me, darling. Whores. Hors d'oeuvres. Oh. And JR's steak dinner. I hope there'd be a vegetarian option. Access to Dallas DVDs, late night snacks, official Southfork wine glass souvenir, and breakfast by the pool. Oh, I think there's something just appeared on my bucket list. Oh, I can see it now. Me appearing, waiting by the pool, and Mark turning up. Oh. No, it's the other way round, isn't it? Yeah. Or you can live like a Ewing. They've got a live like a Ewing thing, which includes a steak dinner. I should be paid by Southfork for this advert. Package includes live like a Ewing, 1 to 6 people. Package includes JR steak dinner, VIP dinner with champagne, trail ride and private tour, Ewing Mansion, $275 a person. There's a chuck wooden dinger, a day on the ranch, a whole day on the ranch. Costs groups of 2, $240 a person, and for that you get 2-hour horse education. Oh, you get on a horse, do you? I don't know. An hour-long relaxing trail ride experience, a tour of the mansion, a delicious lunch, and ranch roundup gift shop credit. Sounds quite nice. They do an equestrian day. Wonderful. Oh, I need to do that. I need to go to Dallas. Even if it's to go round just the house. Did you like Dallas as a matter of interest? Oh, hang on. I can do polls now. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll on the... somehow I can do a poll now. How do I do this? Just a minute. Poll. Here we go. I'm just going to do a poll now. For those of you in the chat box. Did you watch Dallas? There you go. I can do polls now. I tried that out this morning. It's very exciting. There we go. There we go. There we go. And I'll get a message at the moment. That doesn't mean I can see your chat box or anything like that. But there we go. I've asked a question. Let's see if anyone, what results we get for that. I have my my second poll. I tested it this morning and it did seem to work. We asked this morning, do you watch Holby City? 80% of the people said no. 20% said yes. That was it. No one watches Holby. Only me and Fran. Who cares? Why should we share it, Fran? It's far too good to be shared with people that we don't even know properly, dear. We'll keep it to ourselves. It's getting very exciting, Holby. There's something big happening there. Something very, very big that's gonna finish with something very, very big. And they've started it now. It's obvious to me. Danny Davis says, I'm sat here eating custard creams. Is that wise, dear? I've seen a picture of you recently. Don't be shoving all those chocolate custard creams down your gullet. That poor other boyfriend of yours, darling, having to hold up all that weight. Andy, Chris, I don't know if you considered BritBox at all. Today they put on some old Crossroads, Eldorado, Take the High Road. Oh, Take the High Road. Da 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 da. I love that music. Da, da. Is that the right music? Da 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 da. Is that the? I love that music. Take the High Road. Oh, and the scenery on it. The scenery on Take the High Road. They've also got Casualty, Grange Hill, and loads more. BritBox, I haven't considered it because it's another outgoing. You see. It's all very well, oh, it's only £5 for that, and then, oh, it's only £6 for that, it's £25 for that, and you add them all up, and it just gets crazy. I'm very, very careful signing up to anything sort of monthly, really. So, no. I've got Netflix. That's it. That's the only sort of pay... what was you called? Pay unnecessary thing that I pay for. I think really, you know, other monthly outgoings, broadband, mobile phone, all things that you. Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, you could do without some of them, you know, but obviously I wouldn't be able to do this, would I? But things that I don't really need, I just don't sign up to, you know. If the BBC becomes subscription only, I shan't be signing up to it. You know, won't be signing up to anything like that. But I've got Netflix. That's the only thing. £6 a month, £6.99. I don't know. I can't remember what it was now. Mark says, "Of course I'd take you. I could do with a break from the old bag." See, you don't even like her. What on earth is he doing there? He don't even like his girlfriend. She hates him. They hate there. It's a hate relationship. Oh, don't tell me you've seen the pictures of them looking happy. Anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. Look at these pictures of all these celebrities on the telly. Huh? They're like that. They hate each other. Old Cheryl Cole trapping that gorgeous boy Liam Payne like that and his underpants. Oh, what are you doing? What were you doing with her, mate, eh? Honestly. God's sake, man. Well, I look forward to that, Mark. Okay? I really look forward to that, my darling. Evening to Leslie Ross. Leslie is in the house. Good evening, Leslie. All right, my darling. The very beautiful Leslie Ross. Good evening, Chris. I'm about late tonight. Missed the start of your show. First ever time. Please forgive me. Just a moment. Could you come in front of the television now, my darling? Okay, I'm going to hear your confession now, Leslie. Yes, okay. You've missed the show. Okay. I want you to say 5 Hail Marys for missing the show earlier, okay? Thank you very much, Leslie. There you are. I've been helping Gary with the van again. Oh, what's wrong with that now, my love? Oh, has he got problems with the van? What's happened to it this time? A wheel fell off or something like that? Don't ask me. I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff, do I? Huh? Vera used to work at the BBC. This is BBC One. And now, Dallas. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be a BBC announcer. That's what I wanted to do. There's some on there now that are blooming awful. There's one particular bloke on there. I can't understand a word he says half the time. He don't speak proper. Not like us, innit, mate? Dear. Anyway, Vera says, I worked on... Sorry, one moment. Vera, on the subject of arses. She's got a bit of an obsession with arses, Vera. Every time I come past her in the pub, she pinches mine for some reason. Well, there's a lot to pinch, to be honest. Anyway, Vera says, I got my arse from the Irish-Scottish side of the family. Is that right, love? Dallas. Are you talking about Dallas here? It was November the 21st, 1980. I was 19 years old. Are we talking about Dallas there, darling? She says, I worked on the publicity for Dallas, the Who Shot JR episode, when they were showing it at the same time in the US. I remember that. Because, of course, in those days, we couldn't really see American... we couldn't see American television. Now you can log on to any station anywhere in the world. You know, I've watched Australian breakfast news in the morning at night here. You can just watch anything on the internet now. But in those days, you couldn't. And I remember the Who Shot JR, and I remember the news item, and the BBC had to go to the airport to collect this film. And it was all secret, and they had security guards and everything bringing it down to the BBC to put on their machine so that we could all watch it a little bit later. I remember that. And we didn't know. Did America play it out first, or did we all get it at the same time? I can't remember now how that worked. I know I made sure I didn't read the papers in case they gave it away, because they're devils, they are, those newspapers. You know, in particular, the Daily Star. They seem to like to try and tell you what's going to happen in your favourite programme. And it doesn't do well. It spoils it. It spoils it when papers do that. You know, you're so excited. You know, you could sit there, watch the telly and get excited about, I don't know, an episode of Holby. They're very, very good at, they spill Holby and casualty news all the time in there. I never read it. Never read it. Because you want to sit there and watch the show, don't you? You don't want it spoilt by some tin pot rag of a newspaper. I mean, who reads the Daily Star anyway? Does anyone read that? It's all breasts, isn't it? All breasts. Evening to George Bond. Good evening, George. Danny says, are we having an episode of DW News? I don't know, darling. Ray Reynolds, you pronounce horses doovers or derves. Horses doovers. Horses doovers. I'd rather have a bag of chips, to be honest, Ray, to be honest. Vera says, I was sworn to secrecy, and it was on at about the same time as it was in America, so thank you very much there. Yes, I remember that. Ray Reynolds will remember that as well, when they brought in the Dallas film through the airport, all that security. It was very, very exciting. Who shot JR? I'm trying to think, was there ever any other programme that had as an exciting weight like that? I mean, lots of programmes, of course, have cliffhangers when they finish, but I can't think of one that was on that sort of level of hysteria, and it really was, wasn't it? Mark says, I want you to do a mini vlog round Skeggy. Do a bit of filming and family chat. A mini vlog. A mini vlog. It's not a vlog, Mark. This is a television extravaganza, darling. A vlog? A vlog? We'd be all right making a vlog, you and me together, darling. You can bring your little boy to the wedding as well. I don't expect you to leave him at home. Just don't leave him at home. Bring him as well. You know, we can get a suite, can't we? I bet they've got suites available in there. Have his own little room. Huh? Little horses to play with, you know, like they have on Dallas. Little figurines of JR. But he won't know Dallas, will he? He would never have seen Dallas. Don't know what he's missing. It was excellent. Vera says, Murder 1 was another big US series. I don't seem to remember that one. Good evening to Shania. Evening, Shania. Hello from Dad. Is your aunt there as well tonight, Shania? What's her name? Shania's aunt is watching today. Is this the first time she's been watching? Good evening, Shania's aunt. I hope you're a good Catholic lady, just like Shania. Just like Shania. We are expecting Shania to become the first female pope when Francis kicks the bucket. Bless his heart. Well, he's not been very well. He had an operation, didn't he? I only heard this on the off cuff of the canon. So we have a canon in our church, not priest. Canon. You've got a canon in your church? No. We have a canon. Canon Simon mentioned that he'd had some sort of operation. The Pope. I'm not quite sure. Do you know what he had done? I hope he's all right. Shania said no female pope. Well, you might be the first one, darling. Ah, it's hello from Dad and I. Okay. I thought she said hello from Dad and Aunt. Is your spell checker not working, my darling? Hello, Shania. You're a bit quiet, Shania. Don't hear from you much anymore. I wonder if I had offended you, darling. Please don't tell me you become a lefty wokey snowflake. Please don't tell me that, my love. Eh? We love Shania. George went fishing yesterday. Hope you had a nice time there. Did you catch any of the giant goldfishes that I showed you earlier? Eh? Giant goldfish. Yeah, what was wrong with Pope Francis? Do you know, Shania? Do let us know if you like. Can we be taxed to thinness? Because they're talking about this on the news today, that they want to put money, or someone has suggested, oh, hang on, is that Shania there? Here's Shania. Oh, she's been here all the time, but my phone was upstairs. I beg your pardon, darling. Beg your pardon. Sorry, Shania. We love you, darling. John Paris, Peyton Place. That was another one. It was like Dallas with Ryan O'Neill. Peyton Place. Thames Television in the afternoon, I think that was on, wasn't it? Thames in the afternoon. Peyton Place. Yeah, I seem to remember that. How did the music go? Peyton Place. Let me just write that down. I see if I can find that as a bed. As a bed. Peyton Place. Any suggestions of beds for me to talk over during the radio show in the morning? Do let us know there, all right? Okay, let's move on to this one then. Yes, they want to put money on food, or some people want to put money on sugar and salt food. I don't know if this would help. Do you think this would work? It says in the Daily Mail earlier this morning, Britain should introduce the world's first tax on sugary and salty food, a report recommends today. Now, you may remember they've already done this on fizzy drinks. Apparently, according to the news I was listening to this morning on the way down to the swimming pool, with great success. I didn't know this. The tax they put on sugary drinks was a great success. Now, I don't know whether that means a lot of people stopped, but no, it was, they changed the recipe, didn't they? I mean, let's be honest, Coke Zero and Pepsi Max, isn't it? Aren't they 0 calories in those? Actually, I've got one. It might not be a Coke Zero. I think it's a normal one. There's no calories in it. It tastes fine, doesn't it? And that worked. It says in the Daily Mail, the snack tax could add £3.4 billion a year to families' shopping bills. Not your particular shopping bill. Oh, please. Why are there always someone thick here who says, oh, I don't spend £3 billion a year on shopping? They reckon a Mars bar would cost 9 pence more. Now, would that stop you buying it? I don't think it would it? It says 56 million people currently living in England. It means £60 a year will be added to each person's food bill on average, or £240 for a family of 4. It says the money should be used to pay for GPs. Your doctor will be able to prescribe fruit and vegetables. Now, there was this woman on the telly earlier today. They were interviewing her. You know, she's vastly overweight. And one of the things she blames is that she can't afford fruit and vegetables. Which, I'm sorry, I think that is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard in my life. It really is. I don't know what planet some of these people live on. I really don't. But I know that I can go down to Lidl and get a great big bag of mixed veg for 69 pence. How is that cheaper than going to McDonald's? You know, not so good perhaps are baked beans. Perhaps not as good as vegetables, but nevertheless, as I mentioned on Tuesday's show, I think it was this week, you know, you can get a few cans of baked beans and a loaf of bread. That's decent, isn't it? Well, surely that's better than a fast food, something fried in oil and that. When they say, I can't afford to eat proper food, I think that's crap. I think it's just an excuse. Or am I wrong? Perhaps you don't agree with that. You've been down to Lidl and Aldi. They do these 6 of the, and not even frozen, 6 of the best usually, something like, I don't know, 39 or 42 pence, 49 pence maybe. And they always have some sort of offers on there. Might be tomatoes, celery, little green kiwi fruits, bananas. Bananas are dirt cheap. How are bananas so cheap? I've always wondered that. How is it that bananas are so blooming cheap? They are. But no, they're too expensive. But you can afford a packet of Mars bars, can't you, dear? It's crap. I don't believe that for a moment. These people that say they can't afford to eat fruit and vegetables. Crap. Just an excuse. Well, where are they going then? They must be going to Marks and Spencer's. Of course it's dearer there. Of course it is. You know, but you don't have to go to Marks and Spencer's anymore, do you? I don't. I could afford to go there easy. Marks and Spencer's, no problem at all. Yep, I can go there. But I don't. I go to Aldi. Why would I pay £2, £3 for a punnet of blueberries when I can go to Aldi and get them for £1.89? I wouldn't be giving my money away for no reason at all. Only thing I go to Marks and Spencer's for is, you know what it's for, honey roast crisps. There's a certain person watching this show today. I'd like to get a packet of those honey roast crisps and sprinkle them all over and eat them off. I wonder who that could be. It says, so GPs provide prescribing fruit and vegetables. And it also says the money could also be used, this is the tax, for cookery classes on the NHS. Cookery classes to help prevent obesity and ill health, the Government Commission review says. Now, with this cookery business, you see, I don't understand why the cookery thing hasn't come down from people's parents, right? Because my mum, everything was cooked. There was no packet for, well, it wasn't even available. You couldn't go and buy a ready meal. You might get a boil in the bag thing of roast beef or something like that, but you couldn't buy ready meals. Now people go out, just going down to the supermarket to get dinner. So what are they going to get? You know, packet of burgers, some potatoes and some vegetables? No, they get a whole thing in a bit of plastic. Oh, and there's never enough of that. I don't know if you have. Who has ready meals? I find they're very small, don't you? No, the size of my blooming dinners. Well, most of my dinner is vegetables. A great big pile of these things on there. I've got. Like, what did I have today? 3 sausages, corn sausages. Some, I must admit, smash. I quite like that smash. You know, on the side of the plate, and then the vegetables like that. That's a normal dinner for me. Can't afford fruit and vegetables. It's crap. Crap. Frozen vegetables, 69 pence. I think it was 69 or 79 pence in Lidl. Great big bag. But the cookery lessons, maybe so. I don't understand why people don't or can't. They can't cook. They haven't got a clue. Funnily enough, I just saw a TikTok while I was getting ready for the show today. Gino De Campo, I quite like him. And he was cooking, he says, this is how you do macaroni cheese. And he opened the oven, pulled out this thing, shoved it on great big macaroni. Oh, it looked delicious too. All cooked by him. It really isn't that hard to cook. I don't see how you can get something wrong, other than burning brioche buns at £2.29 a packet. It was some bloke called Mr. Dimbleby, Henry Dimbleby, who is the founder of a restaurant chain, Dion. And he said, Mr. Dimbleby said the tax on sugar and salty foods will encourage firms to reformulate their recipes or reduce portion sizes. Well, we don't want the portion sizes reduced. Reformulate them. Take out the sugar. If I'm cooking something, I add never any salt. I never have salt to anything. Nothing. The only reason I've got salt in my cupboards is because when my mate comes around and he pours it over pours the salt on. You know, and sugar, sometimes if I'm doing something like, remember the rhubarb that Jeff gave me from his allotment? Chop that up and put it in, and just 1 spoonful, that's it. Sprinkled over the top, and then crumble mix on the top and in the oven. Lovely. They spoon this sugar in, don't they? Again, I've got sugar at my house, really, because my mate puts sugar in his tea. Oh, I can't stand that sugar in tea, can you? Used to have it years ago. And then Mum took it out one day, and I don't. Where's the sugar, Mum? Just try it for a little while, and very quickly I got used to the fact that there was no sugar in my tea anymore, and it was fine, no problem at all. They reckon poor diets contribute to 64,000 deaths a year. You know, it proposes a new tax of £3 per kilogram on sugar and £6 per kilogram on salt, wholesale. Now, don't we buy a kilo of sugar? Is that a kilo in the white packet? Like, I don't know, silver spoon sugar? Is it a kilo? I don't think they're going to put £3 on that, but wholesale. So when the people that make Mars bars, that's an extra £3 per kilogram. It says Britain has had a sugar tax on soft drinks since 2018. 2018, yeah. It's interesting, though. Interesting. I don't think... If you just put 9 pence on a Mars bar, I actually don't think that's going to make any difference, to be honest, really. You know, what they're trying to do is say, right, okay, to these companies, we're going to tax you more unless you reformulate your stuff, in the hope that perhaps Cadbury's or Rowntree's take out sugar from their stuff. I mean, I do know that there's certain ice creams that I find far too sweet. Some of the Ben & Jerry's ones, they're so sweet. It's too much. And sometimes I think, oh, you could just take a little bit of the sugar out of that. And every little bit helps, doesn't it? Every little helps there. Andy says, do you remember Falk and Crest? Yes, I remember that. And Return to Eden, I watched them religiously. I didn't watch either of those two. No, didn't watch those two at all. Not those two. Shania, have no fear. I am on summer holidays from next Thursday, so can be with you most mornings. Lovely. Lovely. You'll be able to hear my favourite jingle. Ba ba ba. Chris Ridden in the morning. Ba ba ba. Reach on air. The Pope apparently had half his colon removed. Okay, well, thanks for telling us that. I didn't know what operation he had to. He's a very nice man, isn't he? We quite like him, Pope Francis. And Shania says, my nan always puts 2 spoons of sugar in tea. Oh, no. I think that's what my mate has. I don't have any sugar in tea now as I drink too much of it at work, and the amount of added sugar would be awful. I prefer tea without sugar now. What about your dad? Does he have sugar in tea? Does your dad have sugar in tea? Vera says, on the subject of bananas, they are cheap because they don't meet the UK standard. Did you know that? Bananas don't meet the UK standard. I didn't know that. That's why a lot of the bananas we have end up giving them to charity because we can't sell them. Well, I never knew that, Vera. I didn't know that. And Vera says, if they tax salt on food, if they put tax on food, salt tax on food, it will be on everything from crisps to soups. Yes, of course it will, yeah. Crisps especially. Have you ever not had crisps for a long time, like Lent, and then you have a bag? Oh my God, can you taste that salt or what? They are so full of salt, crisps, but so nice. Cheese and onion crisps. Yes, please. I like them very much. Danny Davis, he self-taught himself to cook. Good. Good. I'm glad you did. Glad you did. I reckon you probably, well, look, by the looks of you do a lot of cooking and eating, do you? Not that I want to talk. What sort of things do you like making, Danny? What's your favourite meal to make? I think my favourite meal to make is the campfire stew. Really does. I do like it. Very spicy. Campfire. Just put into Google Slimmer's World campfire stew, and it'll tell you all about it. Personally, I substitute the meat for corn cubes, which you can buy. They're doing big bags at the moment in where was I the other day? Lidl. Ray Reynolds, The Fugitive, starring David Jensen, was a big hit US series. Each week, he was pursued by Lieutenant Gerard and was searching for one-armed man. A one-armed man. Where's the other arm gone? Did he get shot off? Was he a one-armed bandit? Lots of money comes out, doesn't it, eh? We love that. Evening to Mark Jones. Evening, Mark. He says he's just on his break, only for another 4 hours before he can go home. What's that, 1 o'clock in the morning? And go to bed, and sweet dreams about Chris Reardon away. That's a nightmare. Excellent news, Shania. Her dad never puts sugar in hot drinks. Callum does. Oh, dear Callum. Is he still going out on these wild parties, your brother? Have to have a word with him. Dear me. Right. Anyway, that's the salt and sugar thing. Will it make us any thinner by doing that? I don't know. It just depends. It's all on the manufacturers, I think. If they need to reformulate their stuff to get the sugar and the salt out of it. I'm sure it's not too difficult. It's just cheap. Again, on the radio, I was listening to the radio. In this country, we have 2 types of sugar. Sugar cane and sugar beet. Sugar cane coming in from somewhere else. And it's just, there's so much of it. Which means it's very cheap. Which means they use a lot of it. See what I mean? If it was dearer, if it was a lot dearer, then they wouldn't be putting so. They'd find something else to put in there. I'm sure they would. Really. Good. Danny likes making steak. Oh, those poor animals, dear. You must try doing vegetarian stuff, Danny. Poor little animals, my love. Always eating away those poor animals, aren't you? Starting with the subject of food, the world's most expensive burger has been unveiled. £5,000. Would you pay that for a burger? Who would take me out for a £5,000 burger? Anyone? Don't all rush. Who would take me out for a £5,000 burger? Will you do that? Well, the thing is, I've got a picture of it here. Here it is. I mean, it looks vile. £5,000, that is. It looks absolutely vile, doesn't it? Would you want that? Always amazes me. Sometimes, you know, you can go to like a posh restaurant and have burger and chips. Why people go to posh restaurants and have burger and chips is beyond me. It really is. But people do. People do it. That, my friends, is the burger that's going to cost you £5,000. And the story, I've picked it up from a site called Euronews Green, which is like the environment and all that stuff, you know. The other thing with these expensive, you know, when you go to an expensive burger, I mean, I did it once, didn't I? Do you remember? I took my nephew Jimmy to Harrods for his 18th birthday. I made the mistake of taking my mate as well. Why was that a mistake? Because then I had to go to the restaurant and buy 3 meals instead of 2. So we went into Harrods and I said to him, get yourself some cloves in here. What can I have? I said, just pick up one item, bring it to me and I'll tell you if that's enough. And he picked up one item and I looked at it and I thought, go on, get something else. So he chose 2 things. I can't remember what it was now, but that's what we did for that's what I wanted to do for his 18th birthday. 18, gosh, that's 5 years ago. How this time goes, it's all about making memories, really, isn't it? I've got some wonderful memories of Jimmy and great nieces and great nephews and Gary and Tracy. Wonderful, wonderful memories. It's all about making memories, and that, yeah, it cost an awful lot of money, but it's a memory. You see, it's a memory. The same as going to Euro Disney with the entire family 15 years ago. I remember that like it was like yesterday. Seriously, great times. And we were in Harrods, so I thought, well, we might as well have lunch here then. And we found this like burger place within Harrods. There was no one else in there. It was just 3 of us, so we sat down there. I said, right, have what you want, Jimmy. I tell you what, as it's your birthday, you can have a glass of champagne or whatever they got. And I think he had a glass of not champagne, the other thing. What is it? Prosecco. I think he had a glass of Prosecco in the end. That's what he wanted. And he had a burger and chips. And I had a burger and chips. I think I had a Coke. And my mate had a burger and chips and a Coke, I think. Jim's the only one that had 120 odd quid. I nearly died. 120 odd quid. 3 burgers and chips. That's the only time I've ever had a burger and chips. Oh, you couldn't fault it. It was very well presented. The service was outstanding, you know, but it was basically a burger and chips. And people don't go and buy these burger and chips, you know, some of these restaurants. And you get them served, I don't know what they are, 10, 15, 25 quid, something like that. And they actually taste better at McDonald's at like 69 pence for a cheeseburger, don't they? Well, this one, as I say, I'll show you the picture again. This one is going to cost you £5,000. £5,000 for that. And the story says here, with concerns and sea levels rising due to climate change, everyone's looking for a way to reduce their carbon footprint. Even if you try and fly less or buy more ethically, every now and again, it can be difficult to resist a treat. And what bigger treat could there be than the world's most expensive burger? Over the pandemic, Netherlands-based restaurant De Daltons, D-A-L-T-O-N-S, has developed a burger that costs £5,000 and hopes it was actually €5,000, but actually it's quite comparable. I think pounds slightly less, I think it would be, I don't know. And hopes that the costly dish will break a world record. I mean, it's unbelievable why you'd pay that. The ingredients include king crab, white truffle. I mean, it sounds absolutely vile. You tell me if this sounds appealing. Please tell me if this sounds appealing to you, right? Ingredients include king crab, white truffle, beluga caviar, B-E-L-U-G-A, beluga caviar, duck egg mayonnaise, and Dom Perignon champagne. The burger is extremely costly, and it says you should still use your hands because that's the only way to eat a burger. And then it goes on about the environmental thing. The Dalton's bank-breaking burger is luxurious, but may seem a little too much in terms of price, taste, and environmental cost. It says it's made with the finest Japanese Wagyu beef. It is certainly a cut above your average Happy Meal, but increasingly Europeans are turning away from meat altogether. Have you cut any meat at all out of your diet? And if so, why? Why did you do it? Are you concerned about the environment? Is it for your own health? Can you perhaps just not afford it anymore? Why would you have any of you cut meat or some, just a bit, out of your diet? And if so, why, I wonder? You see, even if I was eating dead animals, I bet I'd taste that and I'd hate it. I'd probably hate it. I'd probably be much happier to go and order a Big Mac. You know what it tastes like. You know what you're going to get. And it's all right, isn't it? A Big Mac. What's that? £4.50, something like that? It says in 2018, 5% of Europeans were found to be vegetarian, with the highest number being in Italy and the UK. Meanwhile, the number of vegans in Europe doubled between 2016 and 2020. This concerns of these non-meat eaters are well placed, with researchers confirming that livestock contributes 14.5% of all the greenhouse gases, and goes on a little bit about that. But we're just talking about the burger for now. £5,000 for a burger. I bet you wouldn't like it. I bet you'd take a bite of that and you just wouldn't like it. Sounds vile to me, that. Evening to Ollie K. Evening, Ollie. He hates seafood in general. Yeah, I don't really eat. Well, as you know, I'm vegetarian, so fish. People are often surprised. And I say, "Oh, you're vegetarian, but do you eat fish?" No. It's an animal. No, it's not. It's a fish. A fish is an animal. Hello? It's got a head and it breathes something. It moves. It's alive. Oh, don't even go there. My sister will be shouting now at the screen. Oh, don't you feel sorry for the little carrots? They always come out with some crap like that, don't they? These non-vegetarians. All right, the crap they come out with, dear. In one ear and out the other, as you know. Yeah. I did eat seafood, Ollie. Codden chips, fish fingers. I never liked prawns. Oh no, Ollie. Have you seen them, Ollie? They sit there in a restaurant tearing off the head and the legs. Oh! Not for me. Not for me. My ex-wife used to eat them. She used to love them. She'd be there tearing off their heads and legs. Oh, no. Not for me. Or crab sticks. My sister was having crab sticks the other day, actually. She says, I'm not sure there's actually any crab in them. But they were cheap ones, that's why. It's certainly not. I certainly didn't like anything smelly, oily fish. Oh, no. My mum used to love it. She'd have roll mops. They used to come in a tin. We used to be sitting there eating tin, and in come this smelling fish. Oh, my dad used to eat kippers. What's the other? Sardines again. I mean, no, not for me. Not for me. Evening to Paul in Cornwall. Evening to you. Hope you and your wife are well. John Parrish says The Prisoner was filmed in Wales, starring Patrick McGowan. The Prisoner. I can't remember if I watched that or not. Vera says I've never liked meat. I didn't like the texture, and I haven't eaten it for 55 years. Vera's older than me. I know. The black don't crack. I've told you that before. None of these black people look like their real age. Vera is actually 97 years old. I can tell by the way she walks with no arse. It's true, isn't it, Vera? You look at black people, they do not look their age. I always remember being in St. Lucia and this bloke says, guess my age? And we're like, 38, 39 maybe. And this bloke was like 56. Mind you, I mean, I could be black, couldn't I? You don't know that I'm 58, do you? Isn't it difficult to tell, isn't it, eh? Even with this high-definition picture. High definition. Even better high definition than the cameras on GB News, let me tell you that. Ollie K. My dad loves Exmouth finest mussels farmed in the River X. Is it Exe? EXE? Or should that be EWE? I'm not quite sure. The River X, he says there. EXE. Mussels. Oh. I mean, it must be... Ollie, it must be like eating snot. And snails. And what's the other thing? Oysters. Oysters. Oh, they flick these... it must be like swallowing a load of snot. Awful. Awful. Not for me. Not for me. Not for Ollie. We'll stick with our hot dogs, Ollie. Hot dogs and burgers. That's what we want, isn't it, eh? Vera says, try eating in a restaurant with someone eating mussels, cracking all those shells. Oh, because they come in a big pot, don't they? Yeah, I remember when I was doing the quiz night at the Mayflower in Rotherhire. That was great what I was doing. I enjoyed doing that there. And people would order mussels, and this great big pot used to arrive, like a mini stock pot. What's in there? A mussels. Full of these mussels. I mean, it's so small. You have to have about 8 million of them to get a meal. They're sitting there. Actually, most of them are open. Do they open on their own? They must open on their own when they're being cooked, I guess. And they scoop this bit of snot out and eat it. I mean, if you really want that, come here. You put your mouth against my nose, and you can have some of that if you want. Cheaper than oysters. Horrible stuff. Horrible stuff. Vera, we were talking about the BBC and security earlier. Vera says, speaking of a man with one arm, we were told not to let a man with one arm through the BBC security gate because he was dangerous. But then we had 3 men turning up with one arm at different times of the day. How can you tell which one was dangerous? Oh, you are awful. Gang, if you're in a chat box and you're new to the show, a warm welcome along to you. I don't read messages. I'm not in the chat box at all. You need to, please, if you want to send me a message, please send a text 07451 287 337 or use the email chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. Let's just have a little look at the poll here. And the amount of people that watched Dallas... Most people didn't, according to this. 57% of people asked in the chat box tonight never watched Dallas. 58% of the people who are in the chat box tonight never watched Dallas. 42% did. So we knew what a wonderful show that was, didn't we? Ba 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 da ba 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 da ba. Eh? Shall I do another poll just for the sake of it? And let's do another show. Will you? Let's do another poll. Here we go. Here we go. Hang on. Oh, end that poll up. We end that one, and we'll do another one now. Can I do another one? Oh, I don't know if I can do another one now. Hang on. How do I do another one? No, I think I can only do one poll per show. Hang on. Let me refresh that. Oh, hang on. Did you watch? Oh, it's disappeared. What have I done? I've broken something. Oh, here we are. Yes, we can do another poll. Here we go. Will you eat less meat? Here we go. Here we go. Will you eat less meat? There you go. That's our poll running now. Those are great. I discovered this morning. It's wonderful, isn't it? Can ask questions now and get decent answers. Wonderful, wonderful. John Parrish, jellied eels. Oh God, John. That's got to be that's even worse than oysters. Jellied eels. Have you seen them? How they serve them up? They usually put them in a little plastic cup, don't they? One of those little plastic white cups. And then the people are there with their bleeding bits of wood and oh God. Jellied eels. Evening to the delightful Alan Ross, who's got a night off tonight. Evening, Alan. He says, £5,000 for a burger is just absolutely ridiculous. Well, there's people out there with money. It's a shame, really, Alan. There's some people that are so flash with their money as well, aren't they? You ever seen them in a pub? And you go up to the bar, you know, normal pub that you and I would work in. I don't work anywhere posh really. Normal pub, and they go. A lot of the gays do it. They do it right. They walk in. Oh, can I have a bottle of the Lauren Perrier, please? And they sit at the table alone. How sad is that? Thinking that everyone thinks they're great because they're sitting there with a bottle of Lauren Perrier or whatever it's called. I've got one in my fridge, actually. I've got a little bottle of champagne in my fridge. Perhaps I'll have it one night while I'm doing a show. That could be fun, couldn't it? Because I don't drink, remember that? So a small amount, I mean, on an afternoon tea, I'll have that glass of champagne. That's it, mate. I'm chatting away for the rest of the afternoon. I don't drink to get drunk. It's just horrible, that is. I'm not. Oh, I did years ago when I was 27. Used to go to the pub every night, and I did get drunk every night. I did that for about 3 or 4 months, and then I stopped, and I never did it again. Horrible. Rooms spinning around like that. Oh, it's just awful. I don't know how anyone gets pleasure out of that. Anyway, Alan says, evening, £5,000 for a burger is absolutely ridiculous. Sounds vile, but no doubt someone with more money than sense will buy one just for the sake of it. Yeah, to try and impress people. And that's why they do it. That's why some of these people that go into an ordinary pub and order the most expensive thing they can find there to sit at a table and think that that's impressing people. Oh, wow, he's got a really expensive bottle of champagne. Don't do anything for me, mate. No, I don't think so. How does that impress anyone, having a bottle of champagne like that? But they do. Andy, my partner, became rather ill from eating crab sticks. Fish is very dodgy if you get a bad one, isn't it? Oh, apparently, now this happened to me years ago. I'd ordered fish and chips, and I saw him get the fish out of the freezer and dumped it in the deep frying thing and put it back, and I got it home. And I opened the paper, and it smells a bit fishy. And I thought, that don't smell right. So I just chucked it away. I didn't bother taking it back. I just chucked it away and had the chips. Fish is very bad. Yes, Andy says, my partner became rather ill from eating crab sticks, Chris. Then the doctor told her there was no crab in it. It's imitation crab called, oh, blimey, what's that say? Called surimi, mixed with water, salt, starch, sugar, egg whites, and additives. She never touched them again. It's like the tuna subs you get from Subway. It was found it ain't actually tuna. God knows what we've all been eating. Is it not? I wonder what that's made out of then. Because tuna is now what is the tuna that's enormously expensive and it's dying? We're running out because the bleeding Japanese keep fishing the stuff and then putting it in the frozen so that it increases in value and they can make more money. Bluefin tuna, isn't it? Bluefin tuna. Highly expensive, and we're running out of it. It'll become extinct soon because these idiots continue to fish it. I don't know. Ollie K. I can't. Ollie, I'm not reading that. Hit him. Ollie, hit your dad for me, would you, my darling? Hit him. Hit him. I'm very surprised at that. What are you teaching your boy? JK. Ollie also says garlic and white wine flavoured snot. Oh, God. Who has oysters? Do you have oysters? Oh, I've never even tried. Please don't come out with that old crap. Oh, how do you know if you haven't tried that? I know. It's like the one time I tried Chinese food, I always said I wouldn't get on with Chinese food, and I had it. I was as sick as a dog. I was 16 years old at the time. I was staying in America. A wonderful family took 3 of us in. It was a scout thing, and 3 of us went with his family. And this night was Chinese, and I thought, oh my God, not Chinese. But you say nothing, because it's rude. And I just sat there, and this food just kept coming, endless courses. Anyway, I went to bed. I was so sick that night. It just didn't go with me. Never touched a thing since. Paul says, did you watch London's Burning? Yes, I remember that. Now, who was the little star in that? And he got done for something, didn't he? Was it drugs abuse? There was a young lad who was in London's Burning. He got done for something, wasn't it? Or the spy drama called Bugs. I did watch Bugs for a while. That was with the lad from Neighbours was in it, wasn't he? And I watched it for some time. And then there was there was a space episode. And it was just so unbelievable that I stopped watching it at that point. The same sort of thing happened to X Factor, X-Files. I used to watch X-Files, right? I watched several series of it, and then it became harder and harder to actually work out what the hell was going on in it, and I lost interest. You know, I want to be sit there and entertain. I don't want to have to think about it too much, you know. I was watching X-Files and I thought, what on earth is going on here? I had not a clue, and it was going from scene to scene and I didn't know what was happening. So I stopped watching that as well, you know. John Parrish, the burger must come with the restaurant. I hope so. I would think it would do at that price, £5,000. Vera says, when you go to the fish and chip shop, is it cod or Alaskan pollock that you're eating? Who knows? Who knows, darling? Anyway, that's the subject of the burger there. Now, I've got to tell you, something going on with my car, right? I'm not quite sure what. I must be driving even more carefully. Now, you know, as a regular viewer and correspondent to this little show, and thank you. Oh, can we have a little like? Can you do some likes from me, please, today? Thank you very much. The little like button underneath. A like button, that doesn't mean you type a thumbs up. There's a like button underneath the screen, unless you're watching on a telly, in which case I don't think you can do it. If you could just hit that like button and push those up a little bit. Thank you very much for that, my darlings. All right. Yes, my car, you'll know as a regular viewer that I am a miles per gallon driver. I'm an economical driver. I'm not interested in speed or anything like that. I want as many miles per gallon out of my petrol as possible. And generally, I've managed to get occasionally just over 600 miles per tank. Okay? But I have noticed recently that it's going up and up and up. And I took a little photograph today. Now, obviously, I'm not using the car as much as I used to because I've only got one night of work at the moment. There might be a second one coming along. I've got a meeting on Monday in a place sort of towards East London. Is it in East London? Not quite sure if it's in East London, but that's sort of where it is. And I've got a little meeting on Monday to go down there and have a look. So I used to fill up every week. Now it's kind of once every 3 weeks I fill up. And I have to tell you, the last time I filled my car up, I was up here. So I've been up here, filled the car up. Went home. Well, went to work, went home. Went to work, went home. Went to work, went home. And I did a trip into London and come back. And I've come back up here. And I only filled it up today. All right? A tank of fuel. I cannot believe it. Look at this photo. Bottom right-hand corner. Tells you how many miles I've done since I last filled up. And then if you look at the top of the screen, where the little picture of the car is, that tells you how many miles it thinks left of fuel that I've got in the car. So that takes it 647, 646, 26. That takes it to 726 miles, I think it is, or 727 miles on a tank of fuel. Can't complain about that, can we? I don't know how I've achieved that. I've told you before, generally on the motorway, I'm doing 55 to 60 mile an hour most of the time. I'm on the inside lane, quite happy to sit there at that sort of speed. It's not bad, is it, eh? but it's been going up and up recently. It can't be anything wrong because I've just told you, apart from reading the picture there with the miles on there, I've been from here, down to work, then home, then down to work and home, then down to work and home, into London, home, to work, then up here. I've had it up here just going to my nephew's house a couple of times this week. That's what it is. Amazing. Absolutely amazed by that. So I thought I'd just share that with you today. I've actually inquired at the electricity board again. You may remember I made an inquiry about a year or so ago to Southern Electric how much it would cost to put a supply of electricity in my garage, and they quoted me £4,500. And that's not happening. That's not happening. So I've inquired again today, and they've come back to me and said that they will check out the price at the moment to see if it's come down at all. Because I'd like an electric car. I went on a test drive with my mate the other day. He test drove a VW i3, and I was so impressed with his car. I thought it was a bit small, but then back in the showroom there was an IV4, IV4, something like that. My God, that looked lovely. It was a blue colour, beautiful, beautiful. And I think I'd quite like an electric car next, really. Yeah. But the problem is charging it, you see. A friend of mine, he has got an electric car. He's got a Leaf, Nissan Leaf. And he told me he doesn't charge at home. He just takes it down to his local supermarket when he goes shopping, plugs it in there, and that does him. That's it. So I might have a little test drive of the IV4. But of course, it makes a difference. My car's apparently worth quite a bit. Because I haven't been driving the miles, and I got it on that PCP thing, so it's a possibility, But I would have to have the charging. I've got to check out how much it is to have a charging thing there and what have you. I think I'd like a charging point at home, something like that, Paul in Cornwall says, in my old days, I was a fish fryer. And if you didn't were you a professional fish and chip person, Paul? Is that what you did? I was a fish fryer, and if you didn't specially... right, Sharon. If you didn't specially ask what fish you want, you always got coley. Is it coley, or pollock? But if you have specifically, then you get what you pay for. I didn't know that. Sparky. DJ Sparky is... Were you a professional fish and chip type person? Was that one of your jobs that you did years ago? Ollie, when towing a caravan, my dad has single figures to the gallon. Oh, I should imagine it as well. I should imagine it. Actually, Ollie, I had a couple of Land Rovers, the old type, the big square ones. They weren't old, they were new, but they were they only did about 24 miles to the gallon or something like that. This one, I'm getting 60, 70 miles a gallon. Unbelievable. It's a hybrid one, part electric, part electric, part petrol there. All right, so that's my car's MP3 there. What else have we got on our little show today? Let me have a little look here. Oh, shall we just have a quick look at our poll? Here we go. Right, we're going to end the poll in a moment, gang. The question was, will you eat less meat? Yes or no? You can find the poll in the chat box, okay? There'll be a poll there. We'll have a look at the answer to that in a moment or two. When are you Korean and not Korean? That's on my little list of things to talk about. Oh, we haven't opened our phone lines yet, have we? Or check the emails, actually. Hang on a minute. Let me check my emails. I often forget that. Oh, Danny Woodhouse. Phone. He's desperate to call in, aren't you, Daniel? Daniel is desperate to call in. I shall call in a moment. There's Denise. Evening, Denise. There's our lovely Denise. Hello, Denise. Who says, hi, I don't eat anything from the sea except cod from the fish shop. It's awful way the lobsters are cooked. Oh, that's awful. Put in boiling water and screaming. I can't believe it. And that's from Denise. Actually, Denise, I totally agree with you. A horrible way to go, to be dumped in boiling water. But I do believe the screaming, and that there's a scientific explanation for this, which you may or may not believe. I actually believe it. when you look at a lobster, just the very shape of it, you know there's air pockets in there, and apparently the screaming is the air coming out, and it's not the actual lobster. That being said, it's still not a very pleasant way to go, I don't think. There we are. Paul in Cornwall. He worked as a fish fryer for Harry Ramsden's. I had a feeling you'd be doing something professional like that. It took me years to get trained. It was I've just pushed the wrong button there now. It was always good fun. Hang on a minute. There we go. Always good fun. So thank you very much for that, Paul. And Daniel's calling in. Good evening, Daniel.
Evening, Chris.
How are you tonight? All right?
Well, tonight, Chris, in a moment, I'd like to put a motion on the table.
A motion?
Yes.
Oh, is this a poll? Would you like me to do a poll for you? I can do that now.
Well, sort of. It's more debate.
Are we going to have a mass debate?
Well, yeah, I know Alex Belfield likes one, so...
A mass debate. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, first of all, though, about the old salt and sugar thingy.
What are you doing, dear? Don't be touching yourself
Sorry.
while you're talking to me, you perv.
No, I don't. I would never be one of them. Right, that's better. It's salt and sugar thing. Isn't everything we eat these days always got to have so much salt and sugar in it anyway? They just want to put the price of all food up. That's what they try to do.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah, they just want to put the prices up anyway.
What have you had for dinner today?
I apparently had sweet and sour pork, but Mum didn't tell me that's what it was.
Right.
She just left me to guess, and I didn't know. It didn't taste like any other sweet and sour I've had in the past.
So does it have sugar in it? Is that what makes it sweet?
Well, she said she made it.
Oh, that's Chinese, isn't it, that stuff?
What?
I won't be touching any of that foreign muck. I'm sorry, my love.
Well, she said she made it herself.
Oh.
And so she didn't
I hope
put
when
any
Mark Bowles takes
herself.
me out, he doesn't take me out to a Chinese restaurant or somewhere like that, my love. I don't mind an Indian vegetarian curry. That's quite tasty. But not the Chinese food. It's not for me.
Yeah, I mean...
Or that...
proper
What's that fish
cup.
stuff that they have in Japan? What's that?
What, fish sauce?
No.
Sashimi?
Sushi. That's it, sushi.
Sushi, sashimi.
I don't even cook the stuff. There it is, wrapped up in a little plastic thing. Oh, it stinks.
Well, it is, in a way, it is cooked, but not by heat.
How's it cooked then?
Where it's cooked in a sort of sugar and vinegar, I think. It's
Is
sort of
it?
sugar and vinegar mix.
Oh,
Yeah. That's what I've been
Not my
told,
cup
at
of tea.
least.
anyway, get on with
Yeah.
it, Daniel.
Yeah. Well, the mass debate that I really wanted to have tonight was this thing that I think started on my Facebook this morning
All right.
when I streamed about a 2-hour quiz marathon.
2 hours you were on for?
Yeah, we did All Clued Up, Bob's Full House, Blankety Blanks, and Ask the Family.
You did what?
All 4 of them: Blankety Blanks, Bob's Full House, Ask the Family, All Clued Up.
Oh, you did little quiz shows, did you?
Yes, 2
Okay.
hours worth of them. And everyone and Roy Brownlows and all, they're all going, oh, this is boring. We'd rather see you. I think you tried putting down, we'd rather see you cutting bingo tickets.
Right.
But
Oh, so you weren't hosting it then?
no, it was just some random quiz shows that have been culled from the archive of mine. But what I'm
sorry,
trying to get,
I'm really not understanding this.
Oh.
Did you do a show where you asked people questions? Is that what you're saying?
No, I streamed
okay.
some oldie quiz shows.
So you were
what I mean.
watching the television or something, and then you put your camera onto the telly and showed that.
Yeah, except I actually streamed them the way you would do them, where they're streamed direct on Facebook, no camera involved.
Right. So you took
so
someone
double
else's
play.
material and reposted it without
Well,
their
yeah.
permission.
In essence, but you know what these people are like, very hard to get hold of. But what I'm getting at, yes, what I'm getting at is, it seems some people are trying to tell me, Daniel, we'd much rather see you doing it rather than them.
Well, yes, I get that.
You think
What is the
so?
point of shoving your picture of someone else's thing? I. Where are you coming from with that?
What I'm trying to say is if these people really want me to do it, then all I say to them is get some friends together, say we're gonna have a quiz, book me, and I will gladly do it. But until
Right.
we need the people, you see, that's the thing.
Well, I've been doing this for 15 years. I didn't have any people at the beginning. You've literally just got to do it. Just do it. Just
What
do
do
it.
it? What
Share it all
as
over
in,
the place. I'm not convinced actually that sharing stuff on Facebook groups does anything. Now, I used to post my various, I still do, post my videos to about 30 different Facebook groups. I'm sure you've seen it when it says shared to 30 groups or whatever, 25 groups or whatever it is. When I don't share it, or when I do share it, makes no difference to the end numbers. I think there's so many people sharing stuff on various Facebook, like Facebook live stream, YouTube viewers, best Facebook group, and all this business. You put your stuff on there. I don't think it makes any difference. I bet there's no one watching this show at this moment who's seen it advertised on another Facebook group other than my own page. I bet there isn't. Just doesn't
yeah,
work. But if you're going to do something like that, you can't. No one is going to start messaging you saying, "Oh, we'd love you to do this." You've literally just got to do it and hope that people want to watch it. But you've got to give it a try. You know, don't
so
do
I've got
one
to just
show, no one watches, so you don't do it again. You've got to do it for a few months, possibly a year. Look at the bingo. Look at the bingo. Year and a half we were doing that, and then I gave up. The quiz, that was going about 9 months. Then I gave up. You know, by then you realise this is not going to work. I mean, you could argue that this doesn't really work that well either. You know, a couple of hundred people, if we're lucky, at the end of the lives and the recording numbers altogether, if we're lucky. But the fact is, I quite enjoy sitting here and doing it. And also, certain people on there look forward to this every week. I know that. I know that.
yeah,
So it's
so
worth
do I.
doing. But there comes a point where you have to see what's working and what isn't. And in my case, nothing worked. Yeah, but you literally have to do it. No one's going to start sending you messages. And I think sometimes when you ask for attention, what do people think? If I did this, would you watch? That kind of doesn't really work. You've
Yeah, 'cause
literally
I
just
think
got
it's
to go
just an
and do it.
absolute. It's
Go
just
and do
an
it.
seems like absolute struggle to get anyone to actually watch anything
Well,
these days.
you
It's
know,
like attention spans are not as good as they used to be.
there are no attention spans anymore, especially with younger people. They have no attention span. End of story.
Yeah, as for me, it's like me with most programs. I used to actually just I'd watch them, I'd sing along to the theme tune, and then at the end, then I think, oh God, no, that's it.
Well, I think the worst thing you can have is a mobile phone sitting on the chair next to you, or another computer open. It's like when I go around to my nephew's house, right? He'll be playing a game on the telly. The children will have their tablets open. My nephew's wife is doing something out, and I've got my TikTok on. And we're all doing different things. Whereas before, we'd all be watching the same thing on the telly. Now, which is better?
Yeah.
I don't know. I certainly long for the days where I was sitting at home with my mum and dad as a child and my sister, and we were all watching the same programme and enjoying it. Now there's too many distractions going on all over the blooming place.
Did you actually really like all those programs that were?
Yes, I'm sure I did. I'm sure we did. You have to give things a chance. You know, people don't seem to want to give anything a chance anymore. They're there for 5 minutes. I don't like this, and that's it. They're gone, and you never get them back again. They give you a second chance. That's it. Once you
Yeah,
muck up, that's it, mate. You're out.
yeah. I'd certainly agree if you had a Saturday night that was like there was two Ronnies, Mike
Oh
Yarwood.
yeah, yeah. Well, we did this on Tuesday, didn't we? You know, wonderful programs on the telly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it, just go ahead and do it. Don't wait for people to say to you, "Oh yes, we can't wait," because they probably won't. You just have to do it and hope that people like it. It's getting people to click on it. How do you do that? You know.
Yes. How do I and how do I actually do it with no one else in the room?
Yes.
I have to start doing impressions. So
Impressions.
that's me. Well, I've got to say that, and what was Rachel? Yep, correct. And you can decide where we're going next. You fold a 3. Do you want orange or brown? Have orange, please, Daniel. Right, so that's yep, Sharon. Yep, correct. And
Yeah,
and
see,
this time,
I have to ask you, you know, when you were showing these old clips or whatever you were doing earlier, where is the attraction? Think of someone else. Why would someone watch that? Why would someone
well,
want to
I'm
watch
just thinking
you
that
showing old clips of stuff when they can just go on the internet and look at it themselves?
probably, well, I suppose
You've
not
got to
everyone
offer
is the
something
100%
else. You've got to be
wizard
doing something
I am.
yourself. Bring yourself into it.
Yes, I
You might
suppose
not
I
be
have
mass
to.
appeal. I'm not mass appeal. Neither are you. It's just how it is. You know, you accept that. Once you accept it, you're much happier, you know. You can struggle and strive for a while to perhaps get a little bit bigger and get loads more people, but then you just, well, accept this is how it is, and then that's it, and then you're a lot happier.
Would you say that in a way, the essence to a lot of this is, and because you did say, we know, I mean, the amount of times I watched that famous BBC North East report of you,
Do you
which
really?
no,
Go on, what's
I
your
do,
question?
and the amount of times and you say on that, you're absolutely, you describe yourself as bonkers on another planet and all that. Do you think and reckon that that is the essence of success these days?
What, being bonkers? No.
Yeah, it seems.
No, I don't think it is. I think the essence of being success is to look pretty plastic and not have much of a personality. Because when you watch the telly, some of this crap that's on the telly, including virtually all the breakfast shows, all of that these people have no personalities. And yet they're on there. They're on there. They're bland and boring. But the only person who wasn't bland and boring was Piers Morgan. And you will have liked some of what he says, and you would have hated some of what he says. But he had a massive personality. Where is that massive personality on there now? At the moment on ITV, we've got Richard Madley. Christ, he's boring. All he does is shout, except it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This morning you had it was Misery Guts Charlie and Naga. There's no personality there whatsoever. All he does is sit there and look bloody miserable, and she just sits there full of self-importance. There's nothing good on the telly in the morning, you know. And I have to say, you know, if I wasn't doing the radio show again, I'd be doing this again in the morning. I'd absolutely be
Yeah.
doing this again in the morning, because now and people have told me this in the past and I couldn't work out what they meant, but they used to say they were watching this because it was so bad on the telly in the morning. Okay, we only had 20 or 30 people watching, but nevertheless, when you see now that I see what's on the telly in the morning, it's blooming awful. It's awful. There is no entertainment, and I've said this time and time again. All they want is all the serious stuff to make you a little bit scared, people raising money for charity, people talking about their various disabilities in the morning. Where is the entertainment? Why isn't anyone making me laugh? And they're not.
Yeah. What about Robert Peston?
Robert who?
Peston.
What time is he on then?
Well, he normally does this late night Wednesday news review sort of thing, but
Don't know
I
it.
think he'd be good in the mornings.
Don't know it.
You never seen him?
No.
No,
Never
he's
seen
he's this bloke. I think he's meant to be the ITN political
Is he? Right.
reporter bloke, you know, the head of
Right.
politics or something.
Right.
But he's just got this strange way to go. And then we could think, but then we'll be coming back after the break and with something new.
Never seen him. Never seen him, so I don't know.
He's a bit eccentric. It's quite good, you know.
There's room for something more entertaining and moaning. I thought GB News were going to do it, and they haven't. They're just the same as the rest of them. Miserable, moaning all the time. That's just how it
Could have
is.
been back the big breakfast.
I'm just going to finish off my poll there that we did 30 minutes ago. Will you eat less meat? 17% of people said yes. 83% of people will continue to eat their dead animals. There we are. There's our most recent poll going on there. All right.
Yeah. And one of them shall be me. I have to have my meats. You know, I have to have the proteins. You see, I need the proteins to work with the tablets.
Any luck with the girls on that Facebook group yet?
No, but tomorrow night there's going to be a Zoom meeting tomorrow night.
Oh right, yeah.
Mum doesn't know about this yet.
Oh.
But there's going to be this Zoom meeting.
Yes.
It's been put. They put it on Facebook as an event as well, and so far the only two people going is me and the organizer.
Oh.
See what I mean about popularity?
Well, you just have to see. Make sure you do your hair first, dear.
Yeah, it's a bit wavy at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for calling in tonight, Daniel.
Yes, thank you, Chris.
Pleasure as always. Cheerio.
Bye.
Oh, we are Daniel calling in there. We'll close those phones now. We've had one call, but we'll close them now because time is getting on, isn't it, my darling? Vera says sushi is indeed raw fish. Oof, not for me. Alan Ross, YouTube is much like radio, especially internet-based. It's now very rare I get a message during my show. 3 hours of talking to myself. Maybe I do it because I enjoy it. I doubt that very much. I'm often listening, Alan. I'm often listening. This is the thing with the radio, and I really believe this. I used to do Liberty Radio in London. And you talk to a lot of radio people, people just don't bother sending in messages. That doesn't mean they're not listening. I mean, it really doesn't. There's got to be people out there listening. There has to be. Not everyone sends messages in. I think you have to try and sometimes give people an excuse to send a message in, like ask a question of some sort, or get something going like that. But yeah, it is nice when you do get messages in, isn't it? I know what you mean there. I doubt it. You're not talking to yourself. There are people out there, my friend. I think we're very lucky to have you on Reach on here. I'm very, very pleased that you're on there, because who else is prepared to do 12 till 3 every night, Very, very lucky to have you on there. Andy says, you're what I've missed this year, Chris. The other things to do instead of watching Love Island from you. Yeah. As I say, I really believe there's a space in the morning for something like this, because it's not serious news all the time. It's just there is no option on the telly unless you want to watch a repeat of something like Cheers or Family Friends or Kids CBBB, which is all just videos, isn't it? Just basically they're playing DVDs. Isn't it? This what we did in the morning, now I actually see the value of what we were doing in the morning, which was basically what we're doing now, slightly different with other little bits and pieces like the bingo and the raffle and stuff like that. I can see now more the value of what was going on now that I've sat there watching or trying to watch the telly in the morning. Because it's practically impossible. I'll start off with BBC One. That lasts about 5 minutes. Because once I've heard the news headlines, off they go, and they bring on someone who's just recently lost a member of their family or something, like some terribly depressing story. Just awful. Awful. Vera, there you go, Vera. I listen to you, Alan. Vera's up all night, Alan. She listens to you. She listens to you. People are listening, my friend. Don't be thinking you're sitting there all on your own, my love. All right. We'll finish off with this story here. I don't know if you saw this. There was this bloke. Incorrect. No, but he'd probably want to sue me for that. There's this. What do you have to say now? I don't know. I'll read this. It's in the Daily Star. and I saw this. Broadcasting watchdog Ofcom has been inundated with this morning complaints after Ollie London appeared on the programme last week. Now, he's one of these non-binary people, so I think he's called a I think it is called a they. I mean, I will never get my head around this stuff. It says 123 grievances. Well, actually, that don't sound too bad for a programme to me, 123 complaints. Out of how many millions is that? I bet it's really low. More people are dying of coronavirus than complaining about Ollie London. Anyway, 123 grievances were filed after Ollie, who is non-binary, explained their reasons. It's only one person. Okay, their reasons for identifying as Korean following surgery to look like a BTS star. Now, BTS, I gather, is some sort of group in Korea. And he wants to look like a member of the group. Here's a picture of him with a member of this group. So the one on the right is a member of this group, BTS, and that is Ollie London on the left. But I think that looks like it's before the surgery. He's now had his eyes done, and he wants to look like the one on the right, or them on the right. What do you say? I don't know. I really don't know. It says, during the chat with Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield, Ollie said, so my love for Korea started about 9 years ago. He's English, incidentally. I used to live in Korea, and I was an English teacher there. I just became so fascinated with the culture, everything about it, the language, the food, the people, and that's actually when I started having plastic surgery to have the Korean look. Now, you can't really see it from that photo. Let me take another photo and I'll show you. I'll show you what he's done to his face. I just want to say, I don't judge these people for what they're having done. I don't judge Katie Price or anyone. I don't actually judge them. Not really. Right? I just think they need some sort of help. I really do. When you've got to have all this stuff done, constantly more and more stuff done to change your look. But anyway, here he is now, okay? So you can see that he's had stuff done to him now, yeah? You see the eyes, they're more sort of slanted, as in Korean, yeah? He goes on to say, I've just become absolutely obsessed with Korea. And finally, I've had my transition surgery on my eyes and brow to complete my new Korean look. And I've never been happier. So, what it is, he now identifies as a Korean. He isn't Korean, but that he now wants to identify as a Korean. I mean, it's just don't make sense to me, does it you? He's had liposuction, whitening injections, lip filler, and nipple correction. No, sorry, that's on the list of stuff he wants to have done. So far, he's had 5... No, well, I mean, I could do a nose job, to be honest. It's far too long, isn't it, eh? So far, he's had 5 nose jobs, cheekbones reduced, a chiselled jawbone, chin bone removed and reattached, along with eyes and brow lift. £175,000 so far. That's a house. And he wants liposuction. I mean, liposuction, there's nothing of him, for Christ's sake. But he wants liposuctioning, whitening injections. Well, he looks pretty white to me. How white do you want to be? Lip filler and nipple correction are also on the list. The discussion sparked a debate on Twitter. Many people made their views. Can't believe what I've just witnessed on This Morning. You are not Korean. And you can't just change your race by having 15 surgeries. Fumed one person. I go along with that. How can you suddenly say you're a different race? So, if I was to put all black all over my face, does that make me suddenly African? No, of course it doesn't. And I just think people need help. They seem to... The problem is, of course, the more money they've got, if you was to go to a doctor and, I'd like to have this. Well, I think you should see someone. Well, if they don't do it, you'll just go to someone who will take the money from you, won't you? And have it done. Another tweet read, can't understand why this person is claiming they're Korean now. Can't understand why it's offensive. Race isn't a trend. And it's not. Maybe if you were actually Korean, you would understand that. However, there are many others who offered up love and support to Ollie on his transitional journey. He was born in 1990 in England, and interest in South Korea and Korean culture came from a young age. It's just odd. I think it's really odd how you can just identify like that. It don't make sense, does it, to me? Does it make sense to you? There's so many people out there, and somewhere along the line, people are telling people you can be whatever or whoever you want. And I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Vera says, can a black person who looks white be classed as white? It's very complicated, isn't it? It's very complicated, all this stuff. Good evening to Russ Vernon. Evening to Russ Vernon. Russ wants Alan to know that I listen to his shows. See? Two listeners there, Russ. They may not communicate with you directly while you're doing your show, but they're there. Tell Alan I listen to his shows, mate. He's great at what he does, so please keep up the good work. There you go. Two of my lot who listen to you. There you go, Alan. Happy days, eh? Happy days. Alrighty. Well, it's just gone 10 o'clock, gang. So I think we're finished up there. I shall thank you, anyone who sort of did the little like thing there for the show. Thank you very much for that. If you've clicked the little thumbs up button there, I do appreciate that, boys and girls. And that's it for our show tonight. Now, I'll be on the radio tomorrow morning. Here it is. reachonair.com. Let's see if that's ready. Yes, it's ready for Friday. Already there. Friday the 16th of July, just after 9 o'clock. Of course, Alan Ross isn't on the radio tonight. He has Thursdays off. That'll be a young lad called Brandon, I think, is with you tonight. And I'll be back with another chat show on this channel on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. All right. Thanks so much for joining us for the show today. I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. reachonair.com. Thanks for joining us and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.